Good morning. I am 4 minutes earlier today. So if you're watching in recording, you're welcome to fast forward 4 minutes to the beginning of the actual practice. Or as usual, stay with us through our hellos. Good morning, Yanni. Haven't seen you for a while on live. Happy you're here. Good morning, Leo. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Gina. Good morning, Connie. All right, it is time for us to start, and today I want to talk about comparative suffering. I have been thinking about this subject a lot, as I very often hear from my private clients something along these lines. I don't feel great that my partner forgot our anniversary this year, but I feel silly even mentioning this to you because of all the real problems that are going on in the world. My issue just seems so petty in comparison. And especially lately with the war in the Ukraine, I hear a lot of this from my friends in Russia. Something like, I'm worried about feeding my family these days because prices have gone up 6 times due to the sanctions, but at least we're not being bombed like those poor people in the Ukraine. Does this feel familiar to you? Do you compare your problems to somebody else's and deem your version of suffering as not worth mentioning? So maybe you have a terrible stomach ache that goes on for days, but you don't feel comfortable sharing it with anybody because, well, at least you're not on a respirator dying of COVID, right? And we do this with the best of intentions. We want to put our suffering in perspective, remind ourselves that this too shall pass and there is a bigger picture here. And this is all good and well, but in effect, what we end up doing is actually dismissing our own suffering altogether. And is this really a compassionate response? Brené Brown says, fear and oh my God, I can't pronounce this word, scarcity trigger comparison, and even pain and hurt are not immune to being assessed and ranked. What we fail to understand is that people in the Ukraine don't benefit more if you conserve your concern only for them and withhold it from yourself or your family, because you are also suffering. Yes, of course, perspective is critical, but hurt is hurt. And every time we honor our own struggle and the struggles of others by responding with empathy and compassion, the healing that results affects all of us. I strongly believe that in order to live compassionately in the true sense of this word, we really need to stop comparing whose struggles are greater and simply acknowledge our own flavor of suffering at any given moment. Of course, it doesn't mean we should turn into this whining machine constantly complaining about every little thing. No, not at all. But refusing to acknowledge our own suffering can be really detrimental to our well-being. Because only by recognizing our own suffering as such can we start being compassionate towards ourselves. So let's explore this today with a loving kindness practice. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle in. Scan your body, notice what's going on for you today, physically, emotionally, mentally. Breathe freely. Don't try to control it. See if you can simply observe how your breath flows through your body, how your body responds to your breath. And now bring to mind something you're currently struggling with, but feel bad sharing with anybody or even thinking of it yourself because it pales in comparison to some greater suffering you see around you. What is this struggle about? Why do you think it's not worth mentioning, not worth thinking about? What are you comparing your struggle to? Is the scale of comparison even fair? For example, if you compare your stomach pain to a world war, of course your pain will seem so minuscule. But if you compare your struggle with stomach pain to somebody who has never experienced stomach issues, your problem may seem much, much bigger. In any case, is there truly any need for comparison? Hurt is hurt. Admit that you're suffering, and admit that it's okay to suffer. We all do. It doesn't mean we need to parade our suffering around or complain all the time or throw ourselves a pity party. Just acknowledge it. I am suffering right now, and it's okay. I am human. All humans suffer. Remind yourself that only when you recognize your own suffering and allow yourself to feel it fully, will you be able to truly let it go. If you try pushing it under the rug, however, it will certainly come back to bite you at some point when you least expect it. So gently start sending the loving kindness energy to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I be happy, healthy, and free. May I feel protected, cared for, at ease. May I find deep, natural peace. We'll do it a few more times. Keep the struggle you chose in the back of your mind and just notice what's happening in your thoughts, in your heart, and your body as you repeat the mantra. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I be happy, healthy, and free. May I feel protected, cared for, at ease. May I find deep, natural peace. So keep your attention on your body as you repeat the words again. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I be happy, healthy, and free. May I feel protected, cared for, at ease. May I find deep, natural peace. Once again, scan your body. How are you now? Are you able now to acknowledge your own suffering and allow it to be present without comparing it to anything that you see around? How does it feel to recognize your suffering as such? Now put your hands on your heart and repeat after me. I am here. I am breathing. My heart is beating. My mind is working. I am human. I am allowed to suffer. I may be suffering right now, and it's okay. This too shall pass. all is well in my world. As you go through your day today, I invite you to notice how you are dealing with your own suffering. Do you tend to hide your struggles from others or even from yourself? Do you have difficulty recognizing your own suffering because you compare it to something greater and it seems silly, petty in comparison to the world's bigger problems? In those moments, can you remind yourself that hurt is hurt and there is no comparison needed? Can you acknowledge your struggle as such and show compassion for yourself? Let me know how it goes for you. I'm very curious to learn how you are dealing with this and if you are employing this comparison all the time. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow.